Hi there, I'm Joy Kauffman, the founder and executive director of Farm Stew. I just got back from a trip to South Sudan where we were measuring the effectiveness of our work and celebrating the growth of the church there as a result of Farm Stew. I learned so much about what Farm Stew is accomplishing, and I'm excited to share with you just one of the stories today. I saw firsthand the amazing impact Farm Stew is making, but I also saw the tremendous need that still exists. In South Sudan, the life expectancy is between 55 and 60 years old. This means that so many children are dying. Right before I went up to preach one Sabbath morning, I caught the eye of a little girl with very skinny arms and a head that looked way bigger than her size. It broke my heart because I knew that the training that Farm Stew offers could have prevented her condition, but yet our trainers had not yet reached the village. At Farm Stew, our team of trainers provide hands-on Bible-based training, really changing people's lives. The simple principles that we share help people help themselves. On this trip, we spent time measuring the outcomes of this work against something called the Multidimensional Poverty Index. It measures the dimensions of poverty in health, education, and standards of living. And I'll share some of the details of how this index relates to Farm Stew in the future. But for now, I'm excited to share that the work of Farm Stew is allowing people to grow out of poverty and thrive. How does this happen? Over the course of 3 years, our trainers hold consistent classes in villages and communities, teaching basic skills that include farming, how to prepare healthy meals, sanitation, cleaning up water, menstrual hygiene, and much more. So you might ask, does it really work? And my answer is yes, indeed. People are healthier with access to nutritious food, clean water, sending their children to schools, and they're happier and healthier in general. The practical skills and biblical principles that our Farm Stew trainers teach are making a real difference. I want to tell you about Morris, a man I met in a certified Farm Stew community. But before I could go out to the community, I had to first go to the government officials to get permission. These were people that predicted a dire, bleak situation in the villages, saying that from April to June was the hunger season. I was right in the middle of it. So I expected the worst when I got to Logobero. But there I found a group of very excited people. They were sitting outside a very humble church under a mango tree, and they had testimony after testimony of the impact of Farm Stew training in their lives. I was especially intrigued about Morris. He had a sparkle in his eye as he told his testimony, and he said, "Come to my house and see for yourself." So, within about an hour, we made it out to his humble home. There, his wife and children were actually taking the corn off of big cobs and filling a large bowl to overflowing. I was curious because that's something you do after harvest, but yet it was the hunger season. I asked him, "Did you just harvest this corn?" And he did. How do you have a harvest in the middle of the hunger season? Well, Morris told me the story. With the Farm Stew training, he realized that he could go to a nearby river and plant a field of corn there if he was willing to work hard enough to irrigate by hand. He had done that now for 2 years, and this was the second year he had a harvest when everyone else was hungry. You can imagine he could sell his corn at a premium. Not only that, but as we sat and talked about the difference Farm Stew had been making in his life, he got another sparkle in his eye and told me he had a new enterprise planned. Well, what could it be? He went into, again, his humble home, but came out carrying a large solar panel. He was so excited. This is a community with no electricity, and yet he now had the power to charge not only his phone, but other people's phones, and he could charge them for charging them, making another enterprise. Morris was super excited about the possibility. I hope you are too, because you also have the power. to change lives. Morris's was only one of many exciting testimonies I'm so excited to share over the coming weeks and months. Morris's community would have never heard the message of Farm Stew were it not for donors like you. Yet there are thousands more villages in many other countries that still need and want to learn the Farm Stew recipe for abundant life. We have the knowledge, we've built the team, and we desperately long to reach them. But now we need your support. We have a bold goal this year, reaching 24 countries in 2024. Last count, we have active programs now in 14 countries and are working towards 3 more. And it's not even the halfway point of the year. The demand for our training is growing so much, and yet we are limited by our financial resources. We need your help to make this goal. In the 8.5 years of Farm Stew's existence, we've trained over 17,000 classes with over 350,000 people in them. We work really hard to keep our running costs very low so that your dollars go where you want them to go, out in the field, impacting lives like Morris and his family. The practical gospel of Jesus Christ is the powerhouse of our curriculum. He motivates us to train, equip, and deploy our trainers, and it's why our trainers work tirelessly in their communities. And finally, why I'm asking you to give today. Inspired by Morris and driven by the urgency of that little girl, I'm asking you, will you sponsor a class for $37? That's less than $10 a week. You could sponsor a monthly class. You could also sponsor 5 classes for just $185, or a whole year of weekly classes for $2,000. And of course, if you want to take a village on a journey of transformation, like what happened in Logobero, it only costs $4,500. So many children, mothers and fathers will be able to learn valuable skills, improve their health, and build a brighter future for themselves and their community. Most importantly, they will know that Jesus loves them with the practical hands-on gospel. All funds donated to Farm Stew are 100% tax deductible, and your sacrifice will make an eternal impact. Together, we can transform lives and bring hope to the hopeless and the love of Jesus to those in need. Thank you so much for your generous support of Farm Stew. May God bless you abundantly.